Never says to you play the first half hour, last half hour. You'll always play the last half hour because you'll be up against tired players, and every game opens up as well. So I mean, that's good management, knowing to bring these people in and make sure you make good use of it.
Danny Cowley, the Portsmouth manager, say he calls them finishers rather than substitutes, and people don't mind it so much.
You know, impact players is the other phrase I've been using as well over the last year or two. Or more than that, but there is something to be said about it, and you got to accept that's part of the deal, and it always kind of has been. It's just because you can make more substitutions now is now a bigger part of the deal than it's ever been.
And it applies whether you're 22-year-old Christian Pulisic or 34-year-old Olivier Giroud, because they bring you different. You know, you might say, well, Giroud's not got the legs to play 90. Well, you might say, well, imagine Pulisic running at a defence that's already had 70 minutes in their legs.
And the joy is, you know, you could do it the other way around. You bring on Havertz or Werner. We could have an effect, you know, last 20 minutes or so. Sometimes it is better to come on than actually start a game.
Throw in for Porto here. As they look to hurl it into Chelsea's penalty area from the right-hand side. It's the man who made the mistake, Jesus Corona, for that second goal. He's going to take it. Desperate to try and make amends. We've got 15 seconds of the 90 minutes to go here. As the camera pans to some sullen-looking Porto players. Ball comes into the Chelsea box, headed away by Chilwell. Let's come back to Jesus Corona on his left foot, whips the ball deep toward the far post. Mendy, big shout, came and got it. We're into just 3 minutes of stoppage time. Chelsea are almost there. They're going to make a final substitution now. Bring on the prolific Emerson for the last knockings. Here's Rudiger. Goes back to Thiago Silva. Across to Christensen. Silva just inside his penalty area. Chelsea playing it short, out from the back. But managing to do it with proficiency.
I'm just so happy we kept on doing it, and we did it more in the second half. It's looked much better. We're breaking the lines now. It's looking much more ragged. Look how dangerous we look now.
Kovacic pushes it right-hand side for Azpilicueta. It wasn't a great pass, actually, and Azpilicueta couldn't keep it in.
Just Azpi probably looked and said, "Thank you." We're in the 91st minute, and I've just run 70 yards, and you've given the ball that's too far, and I need to chase it.
Kovacic at least had the decency to sink to his knees and put his head in his hands and say, "I'm ever so sorry, skipper." And it's he who's giving way for Emerson here.
You know, as a pro, you know that feeling. You know, you do that to somebody in the last minutes when they've given everything they gave me. You think, I'm going to want to meet him when I walk into the dressing room.
Not sure there's been one standout player for Chelsea in this game, but Mateo Kovacic has been as good as anybody else.
Second half, I think he's been our best player. I would definitely argue that, but it's been a group thing, a team thing. I think we had to be good. We had to be brave in the second half. We had to panic, get the tactics right. We did all that, and if we can survive this last minute or so, we are in the most brilliant position for a semi-final.
Here's Pepe, halfway. 2 of the allotted 3 minutes. Christensen's just given away a slightly needless free kick, about 40 yards out, middle of the pitch.
I don't know why the Ravens, Kovacic, is he the one of the ones that was on a book?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a good idea to get him off as well.
It's him and Ziyech, who we haven't seen tonight. So free kick. This will be the last chance for Porto to get a goal tonight. I almost wonder if it's worth sending the goalie up for this, to be perfectly honest, but they're not going to do that. 30 seconds of added time remaining. He organising his defenders. Not a great angle to provide a crossing here.
There's only seconds to go now. This is it, isn't it?
Massive moment in the context of this tie. Here comes the free kick. It's a good delivery as well, but it was missed by Mbemba, who was nearest to it, and eventually it goes harmlessly behind.
I think he may have given a free kick anyway, the referee there. Felt as if it was either a push or maybe offside as well, because he's gone up there shouting, and that's not a good sign. Rudiger's gone down. To be fair, it's 100% it's cramped. Well, not 100, but I'd say 99% that's cramped. He's cramped in his the back of his thigh, his hamstring area, but they're not fun ones, those ones. We don't like them ones.
Well, hopefully the whistle's going to blow for the final time when Mendy kicks this ball skyward any second now. What a result for Chelsea here. 2-0 in the away leg of this Champions League quarter-final tie against Porto. Mount in the first half, Chilwell late on. A textbook away European performance, Pat.
Yeah, so exciting for Chelsea. I mean, there was periods in the game where we kind of had to, I wouldn't say red alert, but had to defend. I had to make sure it was difficult for the opposition. We did that. And then there was parts of the game where, you make good use of the opportunities you get. We've got very few of them. But certainly, if you think about it, so few opportunities, but we've scored 2, and we've hit the crossbar, and very unlucky with a header from Azpilicueta. When we made the good chances, they were very good chances, and we nearly scored with every one of them. So, looking good, we are very, very efficient again, at last. Anyone who was panicking at the weekend, relax.
They'll do it all again here on Tuesday of next week, but Chelsea firm favourites to progress to the last 4. Thanks very much for your company this evening. Pat will be joining Joe Flemons and the team for post-match reaction. Keep across the Fifth Stand and chelseafc.com for that. But for now, until next time, thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Final score here, Porto 0, Chelsea 2.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. Chelsea are in a commanding position going into the second leg next week. 2-0 in the first, away leg in the UEFA Champions League quarter-final. Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell with the goals. A very, very good night. Pat Nevin, you've been on commentary duties for us. I was just listening to your rap there with Matt Davies-Adams. And, I mean, we are in a very strong position. It's a very good place to be, isn't it?
It's a fantastic place to be. We were asked a few questions tonight. I'm very impressed with the way that Porto went about their business tonight. They worked hard, they chased hard. Tactically, I knew what they were trying to do. I think what Thomas Tuchel did at the start of the second half was great, because before the game started, I thought, look, we need to try and play through the midfield. We need to get Jorginho on the ball. We need to get Kovac on the ball, because when we're playing it long, it's not sticking. We did. We were brave enough to do that. And it started leading to them being stretched a little bit. And it was hard for them, and they got more and more tired. And as we mentioned before, chatted to Paolo before the game about they didn't have that many changes to make, and we would get stronger and stronger as the tie and the game's gone on. And by the end of the game, I thought we were more likely to get the third than they were to get the 2-1 scoreline. So brilliant position that we're in just now. I think we made about 4 chances, took 2 of them, hit the bar with the other one of the other ones, and Aspi nearly scored. That's efficiency, man. That's real efficiency.
Paolo, I guess the brief for Porto isn't too dissimilar in the second leg, though, is it? Because with the away leg, like we've seen tonight, it's the same venue, so there isn't that kind of home-away mentality. It's more just if you get an away goal, that's vitally important. The second goal perhaps takes takes it more into Chelsea's favour. But in terms of the second leg, it doesn't change a huge amount for Porto, does it?
No, it doesn't. The stadium will be the same, but obviously, will be Chelsea playing at home. So those 2 goals, it counts in the end. So which was a fantastic result for Chelsea. But to be honest, I was quite happy with the way of that Porto played as well. It was an open game. We couldn't see kind of, for example, like Porto drop or be afraid or something. They did really well. And to be honest, even those like for I think 10 or 15 minutes from maybe 65 or 70 minutes till 80, you could see like Chelsea couldn't get out of the defensive half. They put Chelsea back, which I was quite impressed with that. So because they were chasing for a goal, but to be honest, it was really good. It was like goal situations for both sides. Obviously, Chelsea, they were more clinical because they score and they had like really good chances as well. But to be honest, it was a really good game. I believe the second leg will be probably like similar. Obviously, Chelsea with 2 goals, I think they're a little bit more comfortable and they will probably be more kind of trying to control more the game for sure. And because Porto is the one that they will have to take risks and try to chase the and the different results. But I was really happy. Really, what a game! What a really good game. Really open with the opportunities for both sides, but obviously great result for Chelsea.
Like you said, Paolo, very very enjoyable game. And Abby, with when games like this come along, you do sometimes little moments in the game that only at full time do you appreciate how big they are. There was a couple of saves that Edouard Mendy made that make all the difference. Pat's already mentioned about how clinical we were, but you talk about when you've had only 4 chances in the game or however many, you've taken 2, but there's a couple of saves in there that Mendy's made, and he's kind of made look routine that probably other goalkeepers aren't, because of his frame, because of the way that he makes difficult things look easy. But I think 1-11 tonight, everyone was superb, but Mendy should get a lot of the plaudits, shouldn't he, for his performance?
Yeah, absolutely. He deserves it. I love watching Mendy. He's kind of always on his feet, isn't he? Like moving around the goal and ready to make those killer saves when he needs to. But as you say, he just makes it look so easy that you just forget about it. And then, we're celebrating the goal and he's kind of forgotten about. But yeah, what an amazing performance from him. And just defensively, I thought we were brilliant tonight. I thought Reece James had a particularly good game. He just uses his physicality, doesn't he? He just gets right in there and there was no getting past him tonight. I thought he was brilliant too.
He's top drawer. Reece James is absolutely superb. And Paolo, I know that you'll look at Reece and Ben Chilwell both fondly because obviously it's a position that you've mastered yourself. But just how impressed were you with both of Chelsea's fullbacks today?
They did really well. Both young and talented players, and they did really well. This is a quarterfinals of a Champions League. It's the importance and I believe that also like the nerves that they might have before the game and what they did was fantastic, But they look really confident and also like the team, when they do well and they have the support of the older players as well and the manager, it makes it much easier for the player to perform. But they're really talented players, really young players as well. And Chelsea, if you look for the squad and the amount of young players they have, what can we expect like in a couple of years if they keep the same those players keep playing at this level, how much better they will become. But I think we are in terms of fullbacks really well, in my opinion. Fantastic.
You need to take a pat on the back for that then, Paolo, because you've set the bar very high. So players coming through know the levels they need to reach. So do you take a lot of pride in that, knowing that, Reece will have seen you up close and personal around Cobham and you'll have seen him come through. So he's had people like yourself, people like Cesar Azpilicueta still in the side as well to look up to and mould from. And like you said, he's almost complete, yet he's still got such a long way to go, which is frightening, isn't it?
No, it is, and obviously, as a young player, he has so much to to improve, and especially defensively, because offensively, he attacks really well. He has a fantastic, in terms of crossing, one of the best, with the way he crossed the ball, the technique, it's unbelievable. And I remember because I was working close to him when he was at Wigan, so I was doing the visits. I was talking a lot with him, and I could see the way he was crossing the ball. So offensively, it's fantastic. Now it's just, I think, defensively where they need to be a little bit more consistent. But he's improving. He's getting there, and I think you will improve by playing games. You need to play, because you will make mistakes, and it will be important, for the manager also to keep trust you, to believe in you, and keep you giving the opportunities. Because as a young player, sometimes, and is what I try to tell to those young players, is to try to make as as less mistakes as possible, because normally when things start going in the wrong direction, or and you don't see like wins, normally it will be the young players to kind of suffer the consequences because of that, and managers then they will try to go for the more experienced players. So this is what I try to tell them, but they will get better by playing. In these kind of games are good to play, and you will learn a lot. But if you don't play, you will not get better and improve. So I think they are in the right direction. They're two, fantastic players.
Absolutely, Pat. It was a hotly contested game throughout. There was a couple of contentious moments. I mean, one that I wanted to get your opinion on it from. I'd like you to do an analytical piece for the second leg actually on Kanté Sal's booking for the tackle that the manager made on the touchline, where he's.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We have to be fair. We could have lost a penalty.
Yes.
Not that one. I think the bigger one actually was the penalty. Aspi did have a hand in the back, and it was Marega, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Marega.
Yeah, Marega, yeah.
And to be honest, he looked again that if it was us, we'd want a penalty for that. So I think maybe we got away with one there. But I think what had happened is the referee got a little bit fed up, particularly down that left-hand side, because I think it was Zaidu in particular. I think he'll be enough for awards quite later in the season. I don't know when the Oscars are, but he certainly will be up for an award, because his acting and throwing himself about was driving me nuts tonight. And I think that had an effect on the referee, because the referee had started to get bored with it and stopped giving them. And in actual fact, he probably should have given that one. So, yeah, it was hilarious with that one with Conceição. He decides he wants to get back on the pitch again. He used to play for Lazio against us, didn't he?
He was a player, yeah.
Exactly. So, it's desperate to get involved in the game, but in reality the one I was worried about was that penalty kick. They didn't get it, so you need to get on with it. But apart from that, I think we generally, as the game went on, I agree with Paolo, by the way, that 15 minutes ish where they got a little bit of control of the game. They were fighting for it, chasing for it. I kept on thinking, they're leaving the door at the back open. And we've got players who can break in. Yeah. And the Gaffer's made a couple of changes, and they've made a massive difference. And by the way, how good a finish was Ben Chilwell's. I mean, striker's finish. Goes by, A, gets the ball, B, dummies past the centre-back, and then waltzes by the goalkeeper and finishes with his right foot. It's a great goal. Fabulous finish. Really calm. And again, as we were saying before, this is Champions League quarterfinals. To stay calm at that point in time and being a fullback, Paolo, I bet you're impressed.
No, it is. No, and he took well advantage of that bad control of the ball. I think he read well the situation, because normally, that player is a winger, and so he's not kind of used to playing that position. But also like his body position, the touch, you should never touch the ball like to inside, especially when you were not aware what's happened behind you. So. But he read well the situation, and the way he just sneaked that ball, and then the run, he just went like straight on. It was like a train, just go, beautiful, and what a finish as well. Yeah, fantastic.
So I mean, Abby, the last 10 minutes or so, we've spoken, we've waxed lyrical about the strength in depth that Chelsea have and the squad that they have. I mean, when you look to, you need something different, you can bring on Olivier Giroud, who's still one of the top goal scorers in the competition this season, a World Cup winner, has won everything. Then with 10 minutes to go, you need to see the game out. Perhaps you want to calm it down. You bring on Thiago Silva and N'Golo Kanté. Just the options that Chelsea have, and in big games like that, when you've got big players that you can call from the bench, it's just, it puts Chelsea in. You've got to feel confident, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. If you look at our bench today, it's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? the levels of talent that we've just got sitting there waiting to come on. And I think that's also going to be in our favour for the second leg as well. I do think the depth of our squad we've got over Porto, haven't we? So yeah, and it's nice to see Thiago Silva come on, and it was all very relaxed, and Kanté as well have a little run out. So yeah, hopefully maybe he'll start in the second leg. We'll see.
Maybe. I mean, Paolo, it is only, we're getting very excited, of course. Naturally, you always do after a big European performance like that. You get excited, but it is only half time. And, Porto have been up against it before with even in the Juventus game. Once they come back and take it to extra time, there's a lot of people down to 10 men that have written Porto off. Still a lot of football to be played. how do you expect Porto to approach next game? Because you've seen them more than we have this season, but they're also a very passionate club. They've got a lot of quality. They'll hopefully have a few more players available as well. So they'll still fancy their chances, and they'll, I imagine, quite relish the fact that many people will write them off now.
I think so. I think they will not give up for sure. That's the, like I was saying before, is the DNA of that club. They obviously, I believe that second goal was a blow for them, because I don't think maybe 1-0 they could have or think that the chances it would be much better to trying to get the result back. But I think with 2-0 will be quite difficult, to be honest. And but they will try. I believe that they will try, and let's see how the game goes as well. They have to see how the game goes, and if the 0-0 or I don't know stays for a long time, they have to start taking a little bit more risks, and or even like a goal from Chelsea, then we'll just kill the game. And that's the other. So they need to be careful as well. And obviously, I don't think they will go or start the game like crazy. So they need to go and see how the game goes. And if they're lucky to score an early goal, who knows? You never know. But it'll be quite difficult. But I believe that second goal, I think that it might maybe mentally kill the hopes or something. But I don't know. Let's see. You have to wait and see how they will approach that game.
Pat, it's gonna take a lot, isn't it, next week, in terms of Chelsea's mentality needs to be, perhaps there'll be a few more experienced heads in there that have been there and done it. And, we saw Thiago Silva and N'Golo Kanté come on. And I suppose it's important from Chelsea's perspective. And I know that there is no chance whatsoever that Thomas Tuchel or any of the Chelsea players will take anything for granted. But there is still 90 minutes of football to be played against a very dangerous Porto side. So it's only half time, although we can get very excited, like we were just saying there, we can get very excited and naturally we're going to be buoyant after a massive result. But we do have to be aware that there is still 90 minutes to play, and you can't take anything for granted in European football.
One of the things you'll do if you're a player and you're 2-0 down, and it's a famous scoreline, 2-0. If you're down, nothing to lose. Might as well get and play. And it sometimes takes away a lot of the tension for some players. And if you go and attack it and you get beat, then you're going to get beat anyway. So go out, enjoy yourself, try and, show as much of your qualities as possible. Try and play at that high tempo for as long as you possibly can. And just hope that your opposition, this time being Chelsea, doesn't have a good day at the office. There's a lot of ifs that've got to happen now for Chelsea to go out of this competition. But, it's possible. I find it, like Paul, I think it's hard to see it because you've got 90 minutes to come, and the way Chelsea play, I think we are capable of scoring the next game. And if we do, that means Porto have to really score 4 goals, and it's a big ask. So I think it's going to be a hard one. We're in an amazing position, a far better position than we could have hoped. Although, did someone go for a 2-0?
Hey.
Well done, Joe. I won't let you down, mate. You're too polite to mention it. I won't let you down. Well done going for the 2-0. You got it spot on.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that, mate. But Abby, for balance then, because, we were said there about being cautious, about being complacent. Bayern Munich are 3-2 down against PSG in the first leg, 3 away goals for PSG. Borussia Dortmund got an away goal, of course, in Manchester against Manchester City. Liverpool have got a lot of work to do. Chelsea have grown into this competition. And, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were all sat here when the draw came out. We drew Atletico Madrid thinking, I'll tell you what, if we get through that, we've done very well. Yeah. We're growing into this, aren't we? And all of a sudden, there's 8 teams left. You'd put us very much in the conversation to be in the final 4. And who knows?
It's looking really good, isn't it? I feel like I can't say anymore because I'm overexcited and I don't want to jinx anything. But we are very much in the conversation, as you say.
Very much so, very much so. Lots coming up on the 5th stand, of course, while we try and calm down a little bit after tonight, of course. You can see highlights of tonight's match from midnight tonight. Quick turnaround for the boss, actually, who faces the press on Friday afternoon ahead of a London derby in the Premier League. We're off to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace Saturday afternoon. You can join us on Matchday Live from 4:20 for that one, and we are not done there either because we're back in PL2 action on Monday evening from 6:55 as we host Southampton. So It is only half-time in the quarter-final. Another special night in Seville. Chelsea are in a very strong position thanks to 2 invaluable away goals from Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell. A little bit for you. It's the first time since March 2012 in Napoli have Chelsea had 2 English goal scorers in the same Champions League match. And we all know how that season finished. No more from me. Thank you very much for watching.